Hello, all you crazy people out there. My name is Michael. I like wizards and dragons and making games, and today is hopefully going to be the second to last day in which I actually touch the code for this Bullet Hill game. We'll see how this goes, but I'm going to do everything I can to make this the second to last day in which I have to do that. So today's mostly going to be about music. I don't anticipate this taking all of like an hour of a recording slot. So after that, I'll see what else gets done. But let's see, before I actually get into the code, there's a couple of things that I'm going to do. One is that I have officially moved the project to 2022 LTS version of GameMaker, and that's where it's going to stay for the remainder of the series. 2022 LTS, from what I've seen so far, is pretty stable. There's been a couple minor bugs, but nothing really show-stopping or anything like that, and I don't really feel like updating GameMaker again and waiting for things to break in like 2022.11. There's been some nice additions in 2022.11, but nothing that I think really merits, at least not right now, updating and seeing if things break and that sort of thing. So, as per tradition, I'm going to make my updated GameMaker to a new version commit in the repository. A couple things that I'm going to try to remember to say at the beginning of videos now for the rest of this series. After this is over, I will be doing a post-mortem as I did last time of the whole project. If there's anything that anyone would like me to talk about in that post-mortem, post it down in the comments. I've got a pretty sizable list of things that I'm going to run through when I do that. But if there's anything else that anyone wants to bring up, scream. So today I'm going to be doing mostly music stuff, and there's a couple other audio-related tasks. I'm probably honestly going to off-screen a lot of these because, if we're being honest, I don't think searching for sound effects and doing the boring, tedious chores of putting them in the game at a appropriate position in the code is really all that interesting for video. I did it once. I dedicated one video to sound effects earlier, and I think that's quite enough. There's also the matter of a third star criteria. I'm going to try and get that in. I want to make that based on score. If you beat the level with a certain score, and I want to dress up the UI for that a little bit, but first things first. So, I've kind of sort of been stalling a little bit for background music to get finished. Still waiting on that. Ryan is alive, and he's working on it. Probably not going to be done before this thing is out the door, but, well, we're still better off than last time. I've got this one. And that's a bit of a, an action-y, scroller shooting, bullet hell, shoot 'em up sort of a action theme. And then, whether or not the main level theme from Bombardier ends up in the game as well is still kind of to be decided. I kind of do want to bring back one of the old level themes from Bombardier to this game, because there's a couple that I like, obviously. But I don't know which one that'll be or which one, or where in the game it's going to go. So I'm going to use this as an alternate test theme. Let's see. Let me drag these into the project. Audio, background music, and Battle in the Clouds can be BGM underscore. How about little grasslands or something like that. This one, for now, and it's probably not going to stay this way, but BGM title, and then this should at least give us enough material to work with so that I can have different pieces of music starting and stopping when you enter levels and that sort of thing. I also am going to need to set this to compressed streamed because this is background music, and this is going to end up being quite big on the disk if I leave it uncompressed. Do I want to commit those yet? I guess I will. We've already got ambience playing in the background, right? There's already a looping track for cricket noises and that sort of thing. That really should be compressed streamed as well. There's really no reason for that to be, or I guess I can set it to compressed not streamed, because it's going to be playing in the background pretty much in, perpetuity. And that shouldn't really make a difference aside from, perhaps shaving a few megabytes off the file size. Let's see, the way that I want to do this is I've got myself a fancy audio manager here. And This isn't my favorite implementation of audio that I've ever done in a game, but since this is a relatively small project, I'm just going to stick with it because it's not a very large amount of code. Function audio play BGM. Audio play sound. And there is going to be a couple of optional arguments that have been added to the audio play sound function in GameMaker, I believe, since I wrote this initial code. And that's actually going to be fairly nice because that means that I can take into account things like the the background music volume setting very easily without having to do anything weird to make that happen. The priority can be, let's give you a lower priority than the rest of the sound effects. I mean, would I care if the background music gets like overwritten? I probably would. Let's give that a higher priority. Loops is going to be true. And the gain is going to be settings.audio.bgm. And there's going to be a little more to that, I think. For example, I'm going to want to know the current sound that is currently playing. And that's not really something that you care about when you're doing just sound effects, because those are one-off effects and those are going to be over in a second anyway. But for the background music, which I may want to be able to keep referencing, I will. And if not for one other detail, this could just be like a static variable belonging to the audio play BGM function. And technically it still can be if you were to really be a little bit on the creative side with the function arguments. But keep it simple, stupid. We're almost at the finish line. No need to over-engineer things. Audio play. Audio stop. Stop sound. So if there's currently a piece of background music playing, we're going to stop it. And then we're going to restart it. I should say if this is not equal to -1. If like that. I'm also, I think, going to want to say function audio set BGM. Actually, yeah, I might as well do it like that. But regardless, whatever the function, oh, that should have said set BGM volume, rather. Instead of doing that now, I'm going to worry about getting it to play in the first place. Now, each level... Where did I like... Oh, game controller, it's right here. I'm not good at reading. Each level is going to want to have a bit of background music associated with it. And that is going to, I think, be in level metadata. We can make it another argument to the constructor, which really, like, you might as well. You could also start tacking this on as like a fluid interface. Because we're starting to get to the point where this is a lot of arguments to the constructor. And I think, alright, you know what, this is probably actually going to be fast for me to write, so I'm just going to do it like this. Self.bgm audio is going to be equal to -1. That's going to be a sound asset. We're going to just have an accessor, or a mutator method, rather. Self.bgm audio is going to equal audio, return self. And because it returns self, I can just tack this onto the end of the constructor. So I can say set BGM, BGM title for the title screen. We can have similar things for all these other levels. I will all assign them the same piece of music for the time being. Hopefully that does not get too old too quickly. And of course, later on, I will off-screen this and replace it with whatever the final music is. Like, when that comes in, when I'm finished touching the code, which is probably going to happen first, I shouldn't have to change anything to get the new audio, the new background music to work, besides just like swapping out the files. There shouldn't be any risk of anything breaking unless I really do something stupid. Let's see, I'm going to need to commit some changes. This is going to be some background music data. We're going to make this one be able to play some background music. And let's see, there's going to be a room start event somewhere, isn't there? Audio play BGM. And it's going to be whatever the value self.level.bgm audio is, right? So this should have us playing some background music. Nope. Not set before reading it. Oh, it's level data. Because there's like the level struct is like an instantiated level. There we go. It's playing. The level struct is like instantiated level data, and the metadata is basically the template. Why did I close that? I also would like to test this happening in when you start a level. Alright, well, that's music. That's loud. That's definitely draw still failing due to invalid input layout. I've been fighting with that this entire game at this point, haven't I? I could lower the volume of the sound when, like, before I import them. Unfortunately, if you set this to, like, 0.1, this volume setting here is only, like, for your benefit in the IDE, in the GameMaker IDE, which I honestly think is dumb. Oh, no! Did they change that? I could have sworn that this value here wasn't, like, utilized in-game. I could have sworn this was only for, like, for like previewing the sound, the volume of the sound in the IDE, which, I mean, great. If they changed that, I don't know when that would have changed. I don't remember seeing it in the patch notes. Alright, as far as balancing goes, I'm not an audio expert and I don't have the... let me increase the volume on my computer just, like, so that I can actually get a more clear audio interpretation of it, but that's not bad, I think. It might still be a little bit loud. Anyway, I'm gonna leave that as it is. You know what, before I commit that, I'm just gonna make sure that it also works when you go back to the title screen. I see no reason why it shouldn't work when you go back to the title screen, but let's do a different level. I'm tired of playing level 1. I'm just gonna make sure before committing that, because that's the sort of awkward oversight that I would let fly under the radar until it's too late. Alright, let's see, I'm gonna say back to menu, and it does restart. I guess if I really wanted to be thorough, I would test it going to the next level as well. It should just restart, because the game doesn't have any special code to, like, continue if, if the music of the room that you're going to is the same as the one that's currently playing. But, yeah, I think that's good enough. I hope that you liked what you heard. Play music when you go to a new room. There's potentially a question of if the previous music should fade out. How easily can I do that? Because I do kind of want to do something like that. Audio, sound, gain. Alright, you know what? I can say global.bgm on the way out equals -1 or something, and then Okay, so I think I can actually do something a little bit clever regarding this using time sources and call later. But I should be able to audio sound gain. Currently playing sound towards 0 over a period of, and this is going to be in use online manual. It's nice that it asks you now. That's new. People have been complaining about the online manual and having it not load. I have not personally ever had any problems with the online manual, but there's been enough people complaining about it that there's probably something. And it now gives you the option to use an offline version instead. This is going to be in milliseconds is what I'm looking for. I don't foresee myself ever changing that value from 1 second. We can do it. And then there is, of course, call later, which is going to be period of fade out time. It's going to be a unit of time source units. Seconds. The callback. And this is going to be a little bit strange. I cannot simply say audio stop sound global.bgm currently playing because by that time it will have been reassigned. So instead I'm going to have to do some black magic with a method. I'm pretty sure that time sources allow you to do this anyway. The struct that it's going to be bound to is going to be just an anonymous struct. Feather does not like this at all. And I don't blame it, to be honest. And the struct, the anonymous struct, is going to simply contain a single value, which is going to be a reference to the currently playing sound. And then when the time source expires, we're going to say audio stop sound self.smd. And that should, assuming that the time source doesn't do anything weird with the callback. Okay, perfect. Worked on the first try. So assuming the time source didn't do anything weird with the callback, which it didn't try to like rebind it to anything that it didn't belong to. This function is bound as a method to this struct, which contains a reference to the sound, like the sound instance that's on its way out. All right, boy, in the olden days of GameMaker, that would have been so ugly to do a crossfade like that. All right, I'm just remembering some of the things that we used to have to do in the olden days of GameMaker before this, to do things like this, and it was like you'd have to have two currently playing sound variables firing in parallel, and you'd have to either use an alarm or one of your own tickers to figure out when it had stopped playing, and it was just a whole big stupid mess. I love time sources. They're probably my favorite addition to GameMaker, probably this whole year, at least up until 2211. Let's see, main menu BGM, I can cross that off. Level themes, 3-ish. Yeah, 1 is sort of like 3. If you've got an error bar of like 75%. So, I want to, like, my instinct is telling me to go after these bugs. Or these other, like, quality of life things like the boss health bar, color, and design. But I also, like, want to do actual like things with gameplay relevance. The 3rd star criteria. Let's do that. I couldn't even tell you like why I've been procrastinating this so hard. The 3rd star criteria. This is gonna be in the games constructor, and then when you show the win screen, we calculate the stats and stuff. I can't even tell you why I've been procrastinating the 3rd star criteria for so long. I've had the intention of setting it up for like if you clear a level with a certain amount of score for like a long time. I just haven't done it yet. But the level metadata, that's not the level metadata. Where is the level metadata? Oh, it's at the bottom here. That makes sense. I'm going to also give this oh, what do we want to call it? star score requirement is going to be, let's default it to 1,000, and then self.set star score. I feel like I'm going to come to regret having to spell that out in the future. We're going to self.set self.star that equals value and return self. So again, we can chain this off the end of the existing level constructors. This is going to require that I play around with each of the levels in like release mode to see what is a reasonable threshold. Obviously, some levels are going to be easier to get a higher score than others. Probably stages with a larger number of enemies are going to be easier to get the threshold than stages without a large number of enemies. Woohoo, I spelled that right. So for the first level, I'm gonna set that to something a little bit lowish, and I might increase this requirement every level. I think I'm just gonna put in like arbitrary values at the beginning, and then again I will at least figure out what I think some of the values should be in on video, and then I'll do the rest off screen. So for example, bagworm bombs, that has I think more enemies on it, and they're worth more than the cannon fodder enemies, same as the hornet's nest. So I will let those be slightly higher values. I should probably also draw that value on the UI. Where is the room, the level initialization? This is where all the UI is. If, for example, I go to UI gameplay, and if, for example, I hide the title screen because I don't want that, gameplay, and this is the panel with the score on it, isn't it? All right, that's the name. All right, this is the high score. So what we're going to do is, I think if your high score is undefined, or if your high score is less than the level clear time, than the level clear requirement, then we'll draw that value, and maybe we'll make it like blue or red or something like that, and otherwise we'll just draw your actual high score. I don't know if that's going to be a little bit opaque to the user as to what that's going to be all about, but this is going to be gamecontroller.level.level data star score requirement. For display score can equal level clear data is equal undefined, or level clear data dot high score is less than game controller dot level data dot, oh, what a name. Okay, this is one of those situations where people would probably be likely to make the argument that you should not be using a conditional operator because this is just a very long expression. But anyway, if that is true, then we can return that value, else we can return level clear data.high score. And then we can simply draw the display score. To make this a little shorter, All right. That should display the default high scores. Alright, so in level 1, I see my high score is indeed higher than that value, so I'm gonna wanna... what's one that I haven't played much of? Alright, so this one, it does show the default high score. Let me clear this with a better score than that. If I can. I'm gonna try and do that. Oh, for the love of God. You are kidding me. Alright, so that's a different error than before. Index 108 does not correspond to an existing time source. Are there time sources in there? I don't remember. I'm gonna have to check that, but... Let me find a, Let me find another level that isn't centipedes. The cursed centipedes level. Oh, you know what I can just do? Is I can play this on like a different save slot that doesn't have any clear data. Alright. So we have updated our high score from 1200, which is the default one, to 1270. If I were to go back to the menu and play that again, it will be preserved as intended. Glad to know that all of my systems for going to different rooms work because of the number of times I had to do that to straighten that out. But anyway, default high score is shown. Oh, you know what? Hang on. Because it is entirely possible to have a high score that is not higher than the default one. Do I want to do this differently? I kind of feel like I should do this differently. Alright, let me, it's creation code. That's not the right one. This is the... I can just preview the creation code in the inspector. I don't even have to open it up. Anyway. Let's say if not level clear data else. If there is no level clear data, we'll just show the default score. Else we will show your actual score. And we can, like, as I mentioned, we can make this different. We can say this is the, like, score to beat or something like that. That might be too much text to show there. Is there a, do these guys have a... Okay, so you don't have a built-in, like, blending color. I could add that. Let's call it text color. Let's make it a color, and let's make it black. Why is it at, like, 0% alpha? There's nothing about alpha here. It's weird. Anyway, that's going to be self.textColor. This one. So if you don't have a clear score yet, and I will put it somewhere else. I'll put it on, like, the results screen or something. It'll if you do have a clear score, it'll just be black. All right. That I'll commit. And this is going to be a couple things to this. And making that only worth 5 points feels like a little bit shortchanging myself in terms of the amount of work that's going to be, but self.level.stats.score. Let's see, we can say this a clear with score or something like that. Is greater than or equal to, there should be a level data. Oh, that's just self.level.level data star score. I've already forgotten what I made it. Star score requirement. Let's see. The level data itself, like the persistent level data, has... Where is that actually stored? Oh, that's in the save data, isn't it? I'm going to need to have this... Really, it saves on its own. It saves automatically, but I'm going to need to have it load. And I'm going to need to make that another criteria here. We can check if you've already gotten that star, and if you don't, we can give you a token for that, and that should be it. So if I were to clear level 1, for example. Actually, wait, I'll print out messages just to make sure I know which ones I'm getting, because again, there is no feedback on the UI about that yet. Probably won't be getting this one because I haven't been playing super carefully. Clear under time. Some of these are still like really hard to clear under a certain amount of time. That could also be because I've been playing the entire game, or most of the game anyway, with no like persistent upgrades, and if you have a damage up upgrade, then it'll obviously go faster. Hang on. I have 1 star, so we'll see how many I gain from this. Alright. 1741, that is a pretty good score. We're still getting draw fill due to invalid input layout, which isn't super fun, and clear with score is the only one I actually got. And I got 1 star from that. Okay, so that works. I'm gonna commit that. And... the last thing I need to do in that department is going to be to draw the visual on the UI. There's also, I'm going to write down one more task, and that is going to be design, make the player bullets a tiny bit faster. It's a little... definitely something I've noticed. It's a little bit weird that the player is able to move faster than the bullets, which, go figure. Alright, I had to write that down because I know I'm going to forget about it until it's too late if I don't. As for the UI, let me go back into room initialization. The win screen. This might actually end up being a bit of a mess. If I, for example, put down here... and call it bonuses or something, and I can have, let me just select all this and move it up a little bit. Drawing inspiration from, for example, the upgrades menu. This has been coded so that if I mouse over, one of these icons, some text appears. And I can do something similar over here. Hang on, I'm gonna once again just copy that into Notepad for temporary use. You know, maybe instead of stacking these horizontally, I should stack them like, stacking them vertically, I should stack them horizontally. And then we'll have like buttons grayed out or not grayed out, depending on whether or not you've accomplished the thing. No damage. We're not going to have a sound effect there. These are not actually going to be clickable, at least. Probably won't be. They'll just be like, oh, you know what? Wait. What am I doing? What is that? Did I just duplicate the whole thing? Oh, it's just selected for no reason. This can actually just be text. And I can still gray them out. So no damage. Speedy. And good score. Good score doesn't sound like very, like, clear English. How about high score? And then we can also have another text label. This one can be named, like, description or something like that. Or yeah, I'll have the title up there and then the description. You can be no text by default. You can be named inst win screen star description. And I can set the creation code in each of these. That's not going to change. Star description.text is going to be clear the level without taking any damage. All right. Hopefully this will work well enough. This is going to be speedy, clear the level. And I'll have to check exactly what value I set that to. I feel like a minute 30 might be a little bit quick, but once again, when you have a substantial number of upgrades, it might not be that bad. And this one is going to be clear the level with a score of a certain value or higher, and that certain value game controller dot level data dot star. Come on. Okay. So every time I run the game to get to the end of the level, that's another 2 minutes, and I'd like to try to get a little bit more done before I run the game again now. Oh, you know what I can do? If you have the metal, we can say all right, I'm going to want the clear data for the room. And the clear data is going to have a value clear without damage, and so on. Instead of self, that's going to be game controller if clear data dot clear without damage. Hang on, let's see. Self dot text color is going to be equal to conditional of this. If it's true, C black. If it's false, C gray. So it's going to be grayed out. All right. And then I can get rid of this comment to text. In my head, this looks like it's going to be okay. We'll see what it actually looks like once it's actually in the hands of players. Although on a technical level, it should function. There shouldn't be any bugs in this. This isn't complicated. Okay, I've been recording for 55 minutes. It's probably going to be down to like 48-ish. 3 is my current test slot. It's probably going to be down to like 48-ish minutes after I cut out the level clearance. Maybe less than that after I cut out other bits of awkwardness. But let's do this. I already took damage. That's great. Okay, that was terrible, and a lot of the, I didn't get any medals there. Alright, this isn't working at all. I just finished saying that this should work without issues, didn't I? Considering the, like, colossal HP sponges that Scorpions are, they really don't give you that much experience, and they probably should. I'll deal with that in a moment, but first, why is this not working? The UI is shaped correctly, but I don't know why... The source text is working. Oh, you know what I probably have to do that I forgot to do? Include the actual, like, process of actually getting the text in each of these. Let's get texts. This could be so much less painful. Oh, by the way, I will, make this an empty method just so that it doesn't, like, the text doesn't continuously, like, overwrite itself with an empty string in there. And now we play again. Alright, so I did that with, that needs some line breaks in it, doesn't it? I did that with Speedy and High Score, and when I mouse over them, the text is updating correctly, and it does show which ones I already have. Did not do that without taking damage because I was being really lazy there. But, okay, that's good. If I go back to the menu, I have a couple stars I can spend on upgrades, whatever. I also noted that I did not actually, like, show the cost of these anywhere, which I probably should, but that's going to be a task for another time. Let's see. Inserting some line breaks. Not that kind of line break. Alright, no high score there actually, which is probably a bit of a sign that I should lower a little bit for this one, because I finished that pretty quickly and without taking damage, as you can see. Alright, all that text fits in the text box, which is what I came here to check. Alright, that is a change worthy of a commit. The last star is shown on the level clear screen. I'm going to cut it off here. This is probably going to be a little shorter than some of the previous videos, but I'm okay with that because I don't like editing them when they're like an hour and 15 minutes. Let's see, this is going to be... come on, GitHub desktop. Wake up, GitHub. This is going to be 0.39. We are on 39, aren't we? Anyway, let's see, I can check that off. Let's see, I can have a look at the current status. Got some stuff done there. Not a tremendous amount of progress towards 100% on Sprint 3, but we got some stuff. There wasn't anything remaining on these other two boards, was there? Alright, just thought I'd check. Next time, I'm going to be fixing a bunch of bugs. Realistically, some of these are not going to get done. I'm going to backlog this. I'm going to backlog probably this. I'll probably do this on my own. These two as well. I might do this. I might do the polish block. That's going to be stuff like getting the program icon, getting a title screen that doesn't suck. But other than that, I'm going to try and get all of this done within next time. I'm probably going to attempt to record that video like today back to back to this one, so there isn't going to be any more audio in that. But by the time I build the executable, I will hopefully have the rest of the audio that I wanted and the rest of the background music that I wanted. So that's going to do it. My name is Michael. I like Wizards and Dragons and making games. I never pushed this to Origin, didn't I? If you want the code for this, look for the GitHub repository down in the video description. This is going to be 0.39. Week 40 is going to be the last time I touch the code. Week 41 is going to be really the 1.0. And week 42 is... I'll see if I can make a video on like publishing the game, like creating the itch page for the game and everything in the same video as building the executables. I will have Windows, I will try to have the Raspberry Pi, and I will try to have like regular x86 Linux all at the same time. Probably should have been testing that along the way as we went on OpenGL platforms, but time is of the essence. Once again, if there's anything you want addressed in a postmortem regarding the game itself or the videos, leave a comment. I hope you all enjoyed that, and I will see you all later. Special thanks to Army Armbuster, DJ Gibbles, Edward Holt, Game Maker, Harold Guidry, Jonathan Bernardez, Kiexi, Cinder Larson, Squarecrowd, The Oz, and Zenjamin for supporting these videos. If you want to support the channel, head on over to the Patreon page down in the video description to join the fun.